Hello, welcome to my channel. My name's Tabitha. Today I thought I would just talk to you a little bit about challenges in life and how I can look back and see how some of the most terrible things that happened to me really worked for my good. And I just want to apologize first before I talk too much. I had all these intentions of getting up, fixing my hair, and looking pretty for you. And yet I have gone nonstop all day. It's the day before school starts back, and I wanted to fix a nice roast and potatoes and onions and carrots and all the things. And I've made a tomato pie, and I've cooked and cleaned all morning. And I did brush my teeth and my hair, but that's about it. So I am very sorry. I've escaped to my office for a few minutes of alone time. Thought I would do a YouTube video. But I was contemplating this morning about, challenges, and I had a big one back in 2009. I was going through I had gone through a really bad divorce, and we put our house on the market because we were divorcing in 2007, and it sat on the market for 2 years because if you recall, in 2007, 2008, there was a housing crisis, and you couldn't sell your house for most likely what you owed on it, much less for a profit, which was what my ex-husband was expecting. And I found myself in a situation where I was really sinking. I wasn't getting regular child support, and the house, even when I was married and had two incomes, was a stretch. It was a very beautiful home, but it was a stretch for us. And when I went down to one income, because I did have it on the market, and I had huge hopes that it would sell quickly. It didn't, because nothing was selling at the time. And time marched on, and I was just drowning in debt and trying to pay my bills, and using credit card, cash advances from credit cards to help pay, my mortgage or keep the electricity going or, whatever. Was in a lack mindset back then, and angry and all the things. And of course, the law of attraction just really kicks in. The more disgruntled you are, helpless you feel, and overwhelmed you feel, the more of that you're going to attract into your life. But everything's always a lesson. And I had, by just divine guidance, had this wonderful real estate agent who was the listing agent for my home. And she called me, and we could just, we're catching up, because I guess she did that with her clients. And I was like, I'm really sinking financially, keeping this house. And she had reached out to my ex-husband because someone had offered to pay the house off. Like, they would buy the house for the payoff, which I recall was not bad. And he would not sell it for the payoff. And he wanted about $50,000 more than the payoff, so he would get a good amount of money, even though the house wasn't worth that. And so she saw what kind of situation I was in, and I was sort of devastated that he wouldn't accept this payoff, and I could be out of there, and he wasn't paying the house payment, and he was hardly even giving me child support at the time, because he was kind of in between jobs and wasn't working, I think, to avoid child support. I'm just guessing on that. But and the most child support I ever got anyway back then for two boys was like $360 a month. So she said, "Little gal, I'm going to tell you what to do, and you listen to me and do exactly what I say." And she advised me what to do, and I had to basically, first I told him that I couldn't afford the house anymore, and I was going to need to let it go into foreclosure because I just couldn't financially keep up. And I did send him a registered letter, to make sure he got it. to let him know that this situation was going on. He never offered to take over the payments and move into the home or anything. And so when he didn't do that, I let the house go into foreclosure. And that was devastating for me because I'm the kind of person, if I have an obligation, I want to meet the obligation. But I listened to the real estate agent, and she helped me find a wonderful rental. And it was in the same neighborhood even, and it was very pretty. Had hardwood floors, 3 bedrooms, split floor plan, 2 baths, nice kitchen, nice living room, nice level yard. I mean, it was really a blessing, and my kids could just stay in the same neighborhood with all their friends, and the rent was very affordable. I think it was $700 a month rent, and it was a blessing. Like, she really helped me out. And when you let a house go into foreclosure, you have to wait, or at least then you had to wait 3 years before you could purchase another home. And in that 3 years, I worked on making my credit as good as it could be, and I paid off a tremendous amount of debt, like $60,000 worth of debt, and I built my credit score back up. And when the time came and I could buy a home again, I was able to buy the home I am in now. Even though we were going to build a house, there's a whole story too. We wound up buying this house that I live in now, and it's the only place I've ever lived that felt like home. So, even though I had to go through this terrible financial time and deal with a lot of lack mentality and overcome a lot of obstacles, going through all that and facing the fear of failure, because I felt like I had failed my children because I couldn't give them a home. What I learned was, as long as I have a roof of some sort over our head, I can make any place be home as long as I make it a safe place. And they look back on those years, they're grown now, and they look back on those years as, that being one of the best places we ever lived. And they were able to have friends over, and, I could breathe easier. I wasn't working so much, trying to work extra to, cover the mortgage on a huge house that I couldn't afford, the electricity for a huge house I couldn't afford, the heating and, everything for this big house. It was a smaller house, but it was very cozy and comfortable and big enough. I mean, as I recall, like, both boys had a nice large bedroom, and each boy had a walk-in closet. Like, as far as a rental setup, it was about as good as anybody could ask for. And it had a garage and everything. I mean, I was just so blessed. And I look back over that time at all the things I learned. The fact that I didn't have to file for bankruptcy because I found I found the power within me to just pay that debt off myself. I look back on that and realize that all that happened for my good. And so if you're going through a terrible situation in your life, just know that right now you're being divinely guided, divinely provided for, divinely healed, and you are loved, and everything is going to work out. Just find peace and happiness in this moment, and just keep reaching for whatever makes you feel happy and calm, and focus on that. And the rest will just work itself out. Everything is always happening for our good. If I never went through all that chaos with having to let a home go into foreclosure, I would not be in this wonderful home that I'm in now. I'm so happy and grateful for it. I'm so happy and grateful for all the lessons I learned. And I just thought I'd share that with someone who may need it. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, leave a comment about anything that maybe you went through in your life that you look back on now and think, wow, that was terrible at the time, but I'm so glad it happened. And I love you. Thanks for watching.